Well, we're getting started on the Cutlass. The first thing I think I'm going to do is fix this hood so I can go up and down. It's got a pretty good crack in it right here, where that's typical with a lot of the aftermarket hoods. Are not as strong as the factory one. This one is steel, this one's all fiberglass. And you put it on the hinges with the stock springs and rusty hinges, and you go to close it, it just cracks. So this is a hood from Glass Tech, and I'm not real familiar with them, but I am going to reinforce this. We're going to fix the crack. I'm going to put some steel plates in here so that it won't crack again, and there's rivets and things on here that are coming apart, and we're going to replace those rivets with some epoxy and some fiberglass. So we're going to make this hood all rigid and bonded together more like the factory one, so it'll be super strong before we put it on the car and try to do all the bodywork and things on it. So there's some straightening to do and whatnot, but anyway, this is the process how we're going to do that. Thanks. Enjoy the show. So first thing we're going to do, put some rubber gloves on. If you use fiberglass, it's nasty stuff. It itches. It's awful. I love working with it and I hate working with it. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grind this area out and get this all cleaned up. I've already marked where the holes are and things. We're going to have to cut this wide open and grind this flat so we can put this patch in here. I'm going to strengthen this and this first, and then we're going to go on and fix the inside. So we'll get that going. What we're looking to have here is to clear this all out. So I've got, this is gel coat here, the black, and I've got that ground out down to the bare fiberglass. I cut these grooves because we need to rebond the outer shell to the inner shell. So this way I'll get epoxy down inside of these grooves, which will help strengthen that, and then we'll cover this whole thing with the fiberglass mat. We're not going to do up here yet. We're going to come up to about right there on the edge. And you can see it, there's still some flex to it here. So I've got to weight this down on this side to get those to even up. And then I'll get that put together. I've also got to get these were riveted originally. You can see the rivets broke. They popped out, they looked like that. Over there, your rivets. It's not a very strong way of doing this, it'll come apart. So we're gonna fiberglass that all together. So this will be all structured. We're gonna put a structure here in this area. Instead of having this be open, I'm gonna bridge this gap over to here. I'm gonna do the same thing on that side over there. And that should give us a lot stronger hood put together. So we're gonna work on that over the next couple of days and put together a little video for you. We're getting started here. I've got everything's all sanded out and cleared out, and cut these grooves in here for make sure everything sticks down the way I want it to. I'm using Pro Build resin from Express Composites. They're in Minneapolis. They're the best place to go. Jim and Leanne out there know more about this. They've forgotten more than I'll ever know. But so I'm going to start doing this, and I'm using this special cloth. It's kind of strandy on the one side, and the other side's got a double weave to it, so it's super strong, and that'll fix this and get it good and strong. So I'm going to start here on this end and probably put a little bit on this side, and then I'll be able to cut this out without having to worry about losing all of its shape. So first we're going to do is we're going to wet these out. Actually, first thing I'm going to do, mix this all up good. It's just a 2-part epoxy. 3 parts of this to 1 part of that. Pretty easy, middle mixing cup. So I'm going to kind of prime the whole area here. Make sure that there's enough for it to stick down to, so it won't dry on the bottom side. And this gets super messy. I want to make sure everything's bonded correctly. It's like underneath of everything too. I want this all to stick back together perfectly. There we go. Now that's working. So I've got these pieces here. We're going to put these down in the crack first. These don't wet out very nice, so you kind of jam it down in there. And you'll see them start to wet out, and that color will go away, the white. Put these in these parts in the little spots. And they're just kind of taking up that space in there, right around the hole. Once they wet out, we'll be able to get them to go. What I'm going to do is put some plastic on top of it and weight. And it'll weight the hood down. And it'll weight it down in a way that it'll push this down and make sure we get the right angle and everything. Should work pretty good. Oops. You'll see when I do the bigger pieces, I'll wet them out on something bigger. By wetting it out, I mean just getting all the resin to stick in there. But these little pieces, you can't do that to. They just fall apart. That's basically all there is to it. You just kind of work those pieces in until everything's good and stuck. Just work it. Put this piece right there. So, this stuff takes about a half an hour to dry. I'm going to keep working on this and we'll come back to it in a little bit. Alright, well, this stuff sat and cured overnight. And now we can take it apart and we can see the results. It's good and solid, rigid, and you can see it's really hard. And came out good. So I put some sheets like this. I put 3 of them along right in here and up the side and staggered them a little bit to get them stronger. And then I clamped them together using some old 2x4. And then I use this as just a trash bag to keep it from sticking. So look at that. Pulls right off. So that is now nice and strong. Wow. That came out very, very good. So now I've got to cut a section out of here, make a steel plate, weld a nut to it. And I'll be using this one right here. It's around here somewhere. Anyway, this guy. This little square nut, so that when you bolt, the hinge goes here for the hood. When you bolt that down, it'll hold. So I'm going to make a steel panel that goes inside of here. We're going to cut that out. We'll rivet that steel panel in and glass it, and then epoxy over the top of it to make it even and match the other side. So that's the next step. So what I'm doing here is just strengthening up all of these layers. So these will be all solid together like I did there. course, we'll clean up and do body work so it looks good, but that's the basic plan here, is to make it so that this will be a lot more rigid. And you know, where these can move now, of course over there it can't. I'm fixing all that so we can get this project going. It's gonna get uglier before it gets pretty. So I fabricated a little mount here that we're gonna put inside of that hood to make it so it's something strong for it to grab to. That ought to hold it. Well, we've got this side pretty much taken care of now, just like we did over there. And I've added a whole bunch of structure to this section here. It wants to split right about there, so I added a big swath here of more glass, and all that overhang on top that's up here, that'll all get cut away. But so there it is. This side I've got all my pieces together and it's just curing. That's why I've got this bar going from one side to the other. I measured it, keep everything all straight and square. And then that's about it for that. I'm gonna have to fill in that hole there. You can see where there's a little spot where I'm gonna have to fill that little part. And then make that structure. We'll take care of that tomorrow. And then it's just a matter of grinding, sanding, and painting. The hood should be set to go. Yes. So here's the hood on the car, all put back together. I'm going to open it up here and we'll show you how it came out. So as we open that up, this was the cracked side over here. So as you can see, it is no longer cracked. It's nice and strong. There's no flex to it. It's going to be good. These parts here are all rigid, all solidly put together. The other side over here, this came out just fantastic. Couldn't be happier. So I'll do the body work on it later when I do the paint on the car. You know, I've just got it roughed in right now. But that is basically what it looks like. And now we've got a ram air hood. So air goes in here on both sides, and these are about 18 inches across. And then underneath it goes through here and then right out. So that round part there matches up with the cap that I got to get the W30 or W25 or W something, some Oldsmobile number, I can't remember. Little lid that opens up that allows that air to come in when you floor it, and then we can go burn rubber. So meanwhile, that's how this looks. Pretty happy with it. One more step down in the Cutlass. There's the Delta over there, of course. But anyway, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed it, and we're gonna keep doing these videos on restoring this car, and some stuff is gonna be done well and some probably not, but hopefully it'll teach you something. Or have any questions, go ahead and shoot me a note. Talk to you later.